live.
Uh,
How was that work? But then I
I
had to
think
catch, the Instagram posts and controversy and all.
two laps in the end, Sainz and Perez crashed into the wall together because it first seemed it was Perez's fault, but other footage showed that Sainz was going to Perez. So
I saw that. Yeah, yeah. What's your opinion?
at first I thought Perez was an idiot. Sorry for my language. Uh,
Yeah, gotta be
but
real.
but after reviewing the other footage, I thought no, it's actually Sainz who is in fault. But they both could avoid it.
Yeah, yeah. And which lap was that again?
I think 2 laps for the end.
No, it was last lap, I remember.
Last lap?
I thought it was in lap 50, and the last lap was 51. So
Maybe
yeah,
50.
maybe 50 because they pulled out the virtual safety.
Yeah.
And they just drove around until the finish then. So it was not far from the end.
Guys, we're just waiting for some people to join in for today. I'm just setting up the Instagram live stream as well. TG, if you got a mic, just send us a hi.
Yeah, I think I fixed it now. It was broken.
All right, what's up? I'm
Yeah.
sure your name is not TG. What's your name,
no,
bro?
it's not. Addy. Addy's good.
Addy, nice to speak to you, Addy. Where are you joining us from?
England.
Awesome. What's your local track?
Team Sport Reading.
Team Sport Reading. Nice.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of people come from Team Sport tracks, but I think you're the first from Reading. Is
right.
that an outdoor picture you got or your profile pic?
Yeah. I'll do a bit of Rotax as well.
Ah, amazing. When did you start karting?
Well, I got into Rotax like properly this year, and
Mhm.
like last couple of years before that, I was doing like team sport, just indoors.
Are you doing senior or junior Rotax?
I'm in juniors this year, and then hopefully
Yeah.
next year I'm in seniors.
Excellent. How does it work with the Rotax challenge there? You have to join a club or you sort of
Well, I'm just at like club level, so I mean, I just go to the
Okay.
track every month. They host little races. It's not really like I'm not in any big championship or anything. But,
Right. And which track is that?
Forest Edge.
Forest Edge. First time I've heard of it.
Really?
Eddie.
Yep.
Do you know Ricky Campitelli?
No, I don't think I do.
Oh, it's his Reading is his local track as well on
right.
the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I haven't heard of him, but who knows? Maybe I'll meet him one day.
Probably, yeah.
Do you have any footage you wanted to share?
See, not really, because I have some just old footage, and that's it.
All right. Yeah.
My mounts keep breaking.
Okay. Is it
After
from
my
the Team
new
Sport
ones.
tracks or from Rotax?
It's for the Rotax or the radiators, because I've bought the cheap eBay ones, and they keep coming off.
Okay. The sticker itself.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You got to be careful. What's up, Harry?
Hello.
Welcome back. Speaking of mounts, you're the expert.
Yeah.
Any tips for Eddie for mounts that keep falling off?
I mean, sometimes a good idea is using like the Insta 360, which I use sometimes.
That's a good plug. How's it going with the Insta?
It's very good.
So you got some new concepts going?
Yeah, I've been testing around with it, but I haven't got I still need to try and test around with it. It's there's not much. I mean, I've used it a few times now, but I mean, I still need to kind of perfect it because there's a few like tweaks you have to do with it. It's a little bit kind of annoying, but it's good to use.
And you tried the new is it forehead style mount?
Yeah, I've tried that. And it's pretty good, especially when you have a clear visor. It's kind of perfect. But I just need to test it out in kind of like daylight now. I've only had to test out indoors with the tinted visor. It was really dark. Indoors with the clear visor, it was perfect. Outdoors with the clear visor was pretty good as well. I just need to do outdoors with the tinted visor.
Getting there slowly. I think once you have a good final concept, be sure to share it. I'd love to test it out, and I'm sure others would as well. Because you know how it is with outdoor tracks. Some allow, some don't allow recording. And
Yeah, exactly. Like Botmore, for example.
Have they stopped
Brentwood.
completely?
So all the tracks, a lot of tracks will ban them, but put the ones on their carts. So, like for
Yeah.
example, Brentwood have them on like half their fleet.
Okay.
Then for another example, Lakeside they don't put them on. Buckmore they put them on as well.
Yeah.
And so is Club 100, which is a good example.
Yeah, it's always good to get your footage from a race. So much happens, and that's why it's important that there's some record of it. Otherwise, you don't have Alpha Live every race
Yeah,
in the UK.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I've had a few issues, but I mean, it was just because so they work like AirPods, where like you can put them into the base and they charge up, which is kind of good. So then you
Nice.
can skip a session, charge them whilst you're waiting, and you'll know that you'll get the full session on charge.
Yeah.
Because it gets 40 minutes of battery life, and you can charge it up again, which is pretty good. But
Yeah.
the issue that I've had is that when I charge it, obviously it gets hotter, so you got to kind of keep it in a cool area. If you put it back in the box, then it'll be too hot and it won't work. Like it will flash at you and stop, and so you'll just have it flashing at you for the entire race, which is quite distracting.
Gotcha. Do you have any footage, Harry? You want to share today?
I mean, I got some practice footage from BIKC, but it wasn't the greatest.
No worries. If you want to put a link to it, go for it. Same with Eddie. Is it Eddie? Sorry,
It's Addy with an A.
Addy.
Yeah.
Addy, if you have any footage, be sure to share a YouTube link to it, and then comment.
Yeah.
Comment on the latest pin post called Track Help. So what we'll do is go through at least 5 videos today, and hopefully once we cover Marcel, once we cover Rami, we can come to you guys, yourself and Harry, hopefully.
All right. Yep,
Once you do that, let's head over to Marcel. We've watched a couple of warm-up laps. This is from last week, fresh from the track. Talk us through it, Marcel.
Yeah, you do not still know the layout of this track by
It's
heart.
a new layout, right?
Yeah, that's why we did post this one, because
Amazing.
this corner especially, and the next corner, we're struggling with the refs. That's basically it.
Okay.
From here on, it's flat out until the previous corner. It's a really fast layout.
Yeah, this is quick. So lap starts now?
Yeah, lap starts now.
Awesome.
I did put in the chat sort of drawing of myself.
All right, nice. We got to take a look at that.
And this is the first corner where you can't go flat out, of course.
Yeah.
And the corner after that is also you have to brake, because otherwise you go way too wide or in the barriers. And
Interesting.
I like to know if we're doing things right. I'm about 4 or 5 tenths behind my son. This is my son, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say the green gloves, right?
Yeah, the green gloves. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember a lot.
We see this track regularly, and yourself.
Oh yes, absolutely.
You've become regulars on the channel, of course.
Now this is the normal corner. You go wide and full throttle, but you need to go wide again, because otherwise you won't make the next turn. But it's all flat out.
Gotcha.
And then here, yeah, of course, with the backtrack it's a bit harder, but.
So, do you prefer this layout or the other one?
We lose more time to the light guys in comparison to this layout, but this is really fun to drive 70 kph.
Yeah.
That's really nice to do.
I was gonna say you can get some good speed, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And in October there is a new session. We know before, because they do the race on Sunday and they let them practice on Saturday, and we are going on Saturday, so that's why.
Excellent. What are the sort of timings you're doing then from previous layout to now?
If you compare it to my best time, I did 37 blank on this one, and normally I do, if I have a good race pace, 38.8.
38.8. Okay.
My best time is 38.59, but
yeah,
that was a one timer. So
let's break this down real quick. and I want to go over a couple of pointers with you. How many sessions did you do on this new layout?
3 on this day, but it was the second time this layout was hit 3, and the last one is part 1 because the GoPro cuts off the
So your
max
footage
process.
is this your footage on another? No, this is
No,
also yours.
that's the same.
Oh, it's the same
Maybe-
thing. Gotcha.
But I did reply on it, and I do see it in. Maybe you can. Oh yeah, that's the layout.
Ah, yes. Let's just observe this real quick. So basically,
I tried to draw it nicely, but that was hard.
not bad. Good attempt. It's the orange.
Normal is green. The normal is the green one, and we're driving out the orange.
This is just hairpin, 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 final hairpin again, or long corners, long right-hander for the first corner, double apex.
That one is hard.
Yep, single apex, left-hand hairpin into a back straight into a right-hand hairpin. You'd say.
And that one is hard, and the rest is really
Okay.
flat out, including the
Final 2 corners
right.
as normal. Yeah, that
Yes.
must be fun because you're building up the speed all the way down here and then clipping the 2 apexes. Let's just go through these first couple of corners real quick. Where do you think the best lap was from this session? Is that a clean run that your son gets?
No, he was really steady. He was in the 36 high.
And it looks like he got traffic every lap as well.
Oh yeah.
But
still, he managed to do decent race pace.
turn 1, I'd say, stays pretty much similar. Did you feel that you have to brake more or lift more for turn 1 now? Because it's
no, he didn't go as wide, he said to me. Normally we will hit the bricks you saw on the left to make it wider. Not that one, but the bricks coming up now.
Yeah.
Normally you do that, but because you need, if you want the high speed, you need to stay on track. Otherwise, your turn is too sharp, I think.
Gotcha. Using a bit of the track on exit, and then obviously immediately taking the shortest path to the second apex. And here, I guess it's the grass or the white line defines the limits, really up to the limits there. I think that's awesome. Then you want to prepare for the best possible entry for the hairpin. Let's just see how the onboard footage looks over here. And you've got a long left-hand curb, which is great reference. Generally for hairpins, what we want to try and do is hit the corner in terms of the apex relatively late, get the best possible acceleration out the corner. By doing a late apex, we can actually enter the corner deeper. So think about, using a bit more of the road on entry, and at the last moment, you can go for even a late brake, a relatively late brake, and then a sharp left-hand turn in. What we can afford to do is skip the early apex, even skip a mid apex. Make sure you get on the curb though for the late apex. It's sort of the end part of the curb you want to hit. Have you tried that out? Have you played around with mid apex?
I did everything on feeling because I not used to this track, of course, in this way, and I was I need to go right. Oh no, I need to go left. So I was a bit confused. But it's funny you said the later turn in, because last Saturday in the normal layout we tried the late turn in there because we got a tip from one of the guys of the crew, and that seems to help me at least.
Excellent. These small things will add to that. You can add to your sessions step by step because you do plenty of sessions. Sort of take it corner by corner. This session I want to focus purely on this hairpin, and the next one for the following hairpin. And if you change one thing only within that session, it's easy to then see if it's making a positive difference or not. And sometimes just on feeling, that felt slow or that felt quick. What about braking over here? Like, where is a reference? This looks like it's on feeling over here.
I think he did put his foot on the pedal already, and
he's
braking. Slightly braking, yeah.
Slight break over here. How about yourself? What did you find was?
Sorry. I have a reference point on. Yeah, I have a reference point on the right.
Nice. Okay.
And that's in the grass.
In the grass. Wow.
Yeah, a bit further, but way further. Yeah, please stop. On a little bit more forward on that Yeah, there.
Whoops, I think I missed it.
Yeah, you missed it.
I
No
think I
worries.
know what you mean. Here, right?
Yeah, absolutely there.
Wow. Okay.
There never grows any grass, and for me it's helping because I
Yeah.
use a slip angle a lot.
Amazing.
But the crew said you have to, even in this session,
Yeah.
you have to offer this corner because you need a better exit speed.
You can clearly tell that that shade of grass is different to obviously the green stuff. Well, that's not
Yep.
even grass over there. That's just some dirt actually. So what you can do, and honestly, that's a lot later than what we're seeing the onboard driver do years on. So I don't mind you breaking that deep and actually using a bit more of the outside of the track, and then going for a sharp late turn. And the idea is now we're wide, we need to reduce the meters to the apex as quickly as possible. Sharp turn allows that high amount of slip angle as you're aiming to do already. And then all this time we should be back on the gas, be on the gas, be on the gas. Later you can take the corner. Easier it is to set up for the exit. And on the exit, if you take a late apex, you'll sort of cut across the track and then naturally come back to the middle. So coming up to, yeah, this back straight, good chance to get in the slipstream of somebody or reposition the cart from the middle of the track back to the left-hand side, preparing for a sharp right-hand hairpin. What about the braking over here? How's the reference?
Normally I break late and short because I'm coming
Okay.
from the left, of course. And for this one, I need to break a bit harder because of the longer rotation I need. And sometimes I end up in the grass instead of the little stones here.
This is beautiful. The overtake actually helped because it forced you to take, or the POV driver to take a tighter line, wide entry, hard on the brakes. And now look, he's already coming off the brakes and he's back on the accelerator. And in terms of in relation to the apex, well before, which is awesome, trying to keep revs high. And then he's going to go for the overtake over here. So he's going to be forced to take the tighter line. Do you actually ride over these
always?
Inside
always.
brakes? Excellent. Yeah.
Of course,
really?
I miss them sometimes, but the aim is the rubbles.
You want to ride over that. Maximize track limits. Whatever is legal until the white line have at least 4 wheels over, or excuse me, 2 wheels. And then you're on the chicane section. This is interesting, the exit of this corner. Do you ignore this left-hand part? Or is it just because
no, because of the driver is close behind because he is a bit faster in top speed and traction.
I was going to say he was side by side. So normally you'd cut across now.
Yeah.
You'd sort of
sometimes
go
we jump over the curb there, the left curb.
Nice. Build up some speed. Awesome. Just going back to this corner, though, it's very similar, where you're taking a hairpin, ideally go for a late apex, and that is identified by these by this rumbles over here, let's call it. So
I don't know a better word for that.
We need to think of one. What you'll notice is the grass acts as the reference for early apex. So over here, there's a white line immediately onto the grass. Even the mid apex, you can argue, a portion of it starts where the grass still is. So avoid that. Just like your son is doing over here, leaving a gap to the inside edge. And then be tight at the exit. Look at that. Coming up to the white line. At the end of the corner, going over the white line, gaining from using a few extra meters. The final straight over here, before, well, the back straight, you could say, all about placement of the cart. Take the shortest path possible, and then head back out wide to the left-hand side. It's interesting, this final corner, it must be fun to take. Is it as, tough as it seems?
No,
or is it just a little flick and then
it's really quite easy,
quite simple, right?
for me. Yeah, and, very limited steering input needed if you put your weight to the outer side of the corner.
Lean out.
It will rotate by itself almost.
Excellent. Actually,
so really only the what I mentioned, the 2 hairpins are things where you don't go flat out, and we basically don't have a real problem. Of course, we don't do everything right, but
Mm-hmm.
we know what to do.
I like this technique. It's a initial mini sharp input, and then you can see mid corner there's a bit of counter steer. Look at that, he's bringing the wheel back to the middle, so he's getting a bit of oversteer on the limit of grip, and then trying to go relatively tight for the first one, but the second hairpin, second apex, sorry, there you can go relatively close to the rumble over there. And one more time, wide entry, flick it to the inside. So here we can take a shallow apex. We don't have to go as close, but round off the corner, finish it off by staying tight, maybe going up to the white line over here, and then exit the corner back out wide again. So in terms of the hairpins, just to recap very quickly, it's very similar for both. On one side, you got a left-hand hairpin. The other side, you have a right-hand hairpin. Doesn't matter, regardless of that. Keep the two braking points. Experiment how late you can brake, how hard you can brake, but at the same time, how soon you can be on the gas. What you don't want to do is then carry too much entry speed, end up braking too late and being on the brakes longer than normal. What you want to do is just be at that limit. So not too early, not too late, on the gas before the apex. It's a late apex. I don't know if you want to try in the future though, a lift only. I mean, have you attempted something like that? Or it's absolutely necessary to brake.
No, I do not have to brake, but then my flip angle must be more aggressive. So if I lose it with braking or the more aggressive approach, it doesn't really matter in time for me. He always did tip his brake.
Yeah,
in every layout. So
definitely, and it's a style thing as well. Sometimes if you're struggling with the weight aspect where you feel the cart's bogging down and all, then what you can do is start lifting early and have a coasting period in the corner. Let's say we're approaching the corner here, and you lift off the gas nice and early, but there's no brake. So no gas, no brake, coasting. And as you initiate a sharp turn in, now you can start feeding the power. So a sharp turn in and then back on the gas allows you to induce some oversteer, achieve that high amount of slip angle. But because you're not braking, the difference is substitute with the early brake. Because if you brake at the same spot, then you're carrying too much speed. Lifting obviously will slow the cart down a lot slower than braking does. It's just something to test out. And I do the same thing for your second hairpin, where here, experiment using track limits all the way to the grass. I don't know how aggressive you are when you were driving. Maybe try and go right up to the outside, use all of this space over there. Wider the corner, easier it is to take flat.
I'm not that talented, but sometimes I forget. Oh shit! I need to go closer to the white line. Oh shit! I forgot my hand position.
No. One thing at a time. It's totally normal to feel overwhelmed, but then think of one thing at a time for the session.
Yeah, what you said last time is don't overthink it.
Yeah, exactly. Some things will just be instinctive, like leaning. I think you don't think about leaning anymore, right? You sort of just
absolutely
do it.
not. No, you're
yeah.
right.
So naturally, it'll come for hand position, and then it'll obviously come within. There are some aspects which, as a racer, you've got to be aware of every session. Like, how much of the track am I using? Am I taking enough of the apex through this corner? Different things like that. How are you feeling with the new hand position though these days? You try and get higher up?
No, I still I've thought last Saturday, so yesterday, that I didn't put my hand on top of it anymore, but I still do that, and that's maybe muscle memory or something, but I can't remember I did that. But when I see my footage, because it was my turn to use the GoPro, so I still struggle with my hand on top of my steering wheel. So my hand position is almost 9.3.
Yeah, and that's acceptable because 9.3 normally people can, go for that. 10.2 then, and then even like maybe you saw from last week, we were discussing really high up. Wow, that takes some real skill and driver preference as well. Whatever works for you best, you sort of go for.
Absolutely.
Was there anything else you wanted to cover, Marcel?
No, that's basically it. So I want to thank you again.
No, I appreciate you joining the sessions, sharing some new footage, and you've got a couple of things to work on for the hairpins. The line is looking great. I think you want to start pushing limits now and see if you can substitute braking for lifting. When you want to do braking and lifting, try and use more of the track. And also think about lifting early in the corner and going for sharper turn-ins. Remember, when you remove the braking altogether, you have to rely on your body weight and sharp turn-in to induce that oversteer and rotation which you normally get with the brakes. Let me know how it goes, Marcel.
Yeah, it's this layout is on October 20th. So.
Oh, plenty of time.
Yes, of course. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Marcel, for joining. We'll just take a quick break to go through some comments. The comments are not appearing on StreamYard over here, which is quite frustrating. So I'm not able to put people's comments on the YouTube stream up. Let's see if maybe if I refresh the page or something. YouTube doesn't support it.
I can see them.
You're able to see them, yeah?
But they're talking to each other about the GoPros. Guy is on it. GWI
Excellent.
Racing.
Let me edit this real quick. So this is, gotcha. Now it's going to be public, save changes. Let me just enter the studio real quick. We got lots of comments coming through. The main thing is whenever people comment, especially on, there we go. Now I can pin some comments. So early in the stream, I know, Marcel, you're referring to Ricky. Now it makes sense. I can see the chat. Ricky was saying he's at Team Sport Reading. It's his local track. He goes to Thruxton and he goes to Sandown as well. We had Luke join. What's up, Luke? We had Sanmai. What's up, Sanmai? We got GWI Racing. What's up? What's up, Guy? Guy, we're missing you on track help these days. Got to come in when you got some time. I know you joined earlier, but we were going through a bit of footage. Not a problem at all if you want to stay in the chat as well. And yeah, a couple of discussions about cameras. Cameras are always a great shout. I think firstly, go for well, yeah, you got to define your needs. So do you want something which is very good quality, plug and play? You don't want to mess around with editing, and you just want to review your footage. I'd say go for something like a GoPro or equivalent. Like they have a couple of knockoff brands where simply press record, stop record, pull the SD card out, put in your laptop, and then it appears on whatever VLC media or whatever you decide to run it on. That's the simple option. Clear footage, everything like that. But you're restricted to whatever FOV they give you. I know GoPro has been improving their FOV over time, even their quality and things. You then get Insta. If you're really into downloading apps, like let's say on your phone, on your PC as well, Insta have a great post-production software. So if you get the 360 camera itself, which is awesome, especially when you do these close on-track battles, and for your own analysis. Insta360, let's try and bring up an example of why it's good for post-session analysis.
Such a wide range of cameras as well.
Yep, there's a wide range. Any other suggestions whilst I bring up some footage? Harry?
I think GoPro and Insta360 are sort of like the headline of like action cameras, to be fair. There's not really anything else that kind of springs to mind.
I think DJI are starting to bring up a few things.
Oh, good shout. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of their cameras.
DJI is honestly one of the top ones to compete with GoPro these days.
I've had it for like a couple of months and now it's not even working.
Oh, it's not working.
It's not working for some reason. I'm trying to fix it, but
What's the
won't
issue?
work. I don't know, just won't charge.
Oh, okay. So it's a charge issue.
Yeah. So well, I really want to fill my footage, but it looks like I have to buy something new.
What's up, Rowan? Welcome back. Welcome back to Track Help.
Hey,
How have you been, Rowan?
yeah, good. Looking forward to Sawa.
Looking forward to catching up at one of the sprint races we're hoping to organize. Rowan is a resident driver here in Qatar, and we're waiting for the main track to reopen after summer. Doesn't look like it's going to open anytime soon, though, for the public, which is a shame. But no worries, we're going to be arranging races at other tracks. So stay tuned, as he said, Rowan, for the announcement. I can't seem to find the good footage. Come on, any footage. Let's just use indoor karting. Why not? That'll suffice. All right, so share my screen. If you're into post-production, if you're into analyzing your footage, what Insta360 can do, let's say we're going through this race, direction lock on, and I'm going through turn 1, coming to turn 2. Now, turn 2 is always a tricky corner. So basically, I can pause it right at the apex. It's a hairpin turn. I can zoom out all the way. Don't want to zoom out that much. But now you can really fiddle around. How far off the apex is my rear tire? How much space is there to the outside curb over there? Roll it forward. How's my entry for turn 3? I'm keeping about 3/4 of a gap to the left-hand side, 1/4 of the gap to the inside over here. And then I get to the apex, pause it at the apex. Now I can move the camera around, lots of space there at the inside. Going through the middle part of the track, you've got, let's say, turn 7 coming up. Turn 7, pause it right at the apex, flick the camera to the left. Look at that, zoom in. Really, really nice bit of analysis you can do there. So Insta360, the only downside is, you can probably tell by footage over here, really poor resolution. So the sharpness is terrible compared to GoPro. I would recommend GoPro, Insta, DJI, top 3, depending on your needs. We got some more comments coming through on Instagram. So hey, you can't find the YouTube link. I'm surprised. Why don't you go over to KTips itself, search for it in a new tab, refresh your page. I'm sure you'll be able to find the link. Before we move on, let's just check if anyone has requested to join. We've had 4 submissions already. So I'm going to be admitting Ruben, Jay, Connor, and Matthew. Welcome to the Academy, guys. I've just admitted you all. Let's bring up the next bit of footage, guys. I'm going to move on to Rami. Rami, you still there?
Yeah, hello.
Awesome. Rami, you shared a short.
Yeah, it was
And this is from your race. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. How was your race?
So it was a very weird race. So they said all ages. I thought like my age would be there. And that everyone was like way older than me, 15, 16. So I knew I was not really gonna do good. And so it's about weight. So all the people that weigh like similar to each other are together. But like no one weighed similar to me, so I had to race alone. Race with people bigger than me.
Right. So
we
did
did
you have a weight
qualify.
advantage, you think? I mean, you were lighter than everyone.
Yeah, but that's really not the best thing since they have more experience and they're like
they were more experienced. Yeah. I mean, how many drivers in total was it?
So they put us into 4 groups.
Yeah.
Each group has like 9 drivers. And the format is you get 10 minutes qualifying and
All right.
15 minutes race. So the qualifying got a pretty decent score.
Mm-hmm.
They're not all equal. It qualifies P5, so that was pretty good.
Yep.
1 second and a half of the leader. Now he has a very fast card, and I was not really braking anywhere, so it was perfect for me this lap. But as soon as the race started, they changed my card.
Oh, they
So
did.
I got into
Okay.
the formation lap, I realized it was such a bad card. So as
Mm-hmm.
soon as I started the race, it wouldn't even accelerate. So
Oh.
I had to battle for like not to get last place.
Yeah.
I was 9. If I see 8, if I go on his inside, he was not super good, so you just passed him. I
Mm-hmm.
had 6 from 7 if I have a crash. I go in front of 7, but 7 is really experienced. He knows how
Okay.
to get centered. He goes in front of me. I have P8. Now there's 8 minutes left. I try my best, but the leader is so fast. He has such a fast car that he's so good. So
Oh,
I end up
he's
finishing the
experienced.
race P8. Yeah, I mean better than
Not
last.
bad. PA is a start, and you know the experience you get from this race
Yeah.
is priceless. How many on-track sessions did you did qualifying heat one, and then
So if I finished P3 or P2 or P1 in the podium, I would
Mhm.
have had there's like a final race for like all drivers from all groups. There's
Mhm.
like 4 groups. The top 3 get to go on a final race for trophies and like bigger.
Yeah, that will come. That will come with experience. You know, what did you feel the difference was between yourself and then P1? What were they doing differently? Were they more consistent? Were they just faster?
So the start was very different. They were
Mm.
always having the inside line even when
Mhm.
no one was with them.
Yep.
I'm not sure why. But some people had earlier turn-ins than others, so I
Okay.
was confused. And that, like, the steering definitely made the cars go slower. Now, there was this corner I
Yeah.
coach in the academy. I'm
Yeah.
not really going there now, but he told me there's this corner, don't brake on it, you improve your lap time by like 2 seconds. I
Wow.
tried to just not brake there. Turns out it's actually smoother than not braking. Because when you're braking, you slide a bit more.
Yeah.
So here, it was a perfect for me. So you'll see it on the short.
Just give me one sec. We got a question from Extreme Play. Can you share a YouTube link to it in a pin post on the academy? So you mentioned that you're on the academy already, so just upload a YouTube link and share it in the first pin comment. Go ahead, Rami.
You know, there was no difference in lining, in braking, anything. It was
Mm-hmm.
just about the carts at this point. So his cart, we were racing the 9 HP carts this time.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so usually races are the RT8s, 15 horsepower.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 9 horsepower are pretty slow, so I was not really used to this. But I mean, it's the best I've got.
When's the
So,
next race that you can possibly join?
I don't know. There's a race coming soon, but it's very early in the morning and it's very far place from me.
Mm-hmm. What about this
Um,
track? Is it
this track,
pit stop, right?
there's usually not lots of races like that one. Is like the luck. There was a small track there then,
Okay.
but usually because like races are only really racing at 2 circuits. For like most of the time now, others where this circuit just senior and here and like there's the Saudi Academy of Lebanon. They do special races too.
Nice. You know, for you, I honestly advise as many races as possible to build the experience.
Yeah, so
And
there's this race soon, but
yeah,
with RT8 on a very hard circuit. So the circuit is hairpin after hairpin after hairpin, all in a straight line,
I
and then
think
you
I
go
know
through
what
like a
you're
random
talking
tunnel. It's so hard.
Yeah,
But
I
I
think
just
I
went
know what
through the
you're talking
15
about. Is it?
horsepower. I felt like I was riding a 9 because I was so scared to go like on the middle of the mountain.
Is that RPM?
No, it's Monteverdi. It's a
Okay, so
huge
it's
track.
different. Right. That'd be
Now
interesting
RPM is
for you.
not Saudi, so they don't host the races, but
Gotcha.
they host track days
Mhm.
and and not Rotax, IAME.
Mhm.
So that's what they do. The circuits are Rotax circuits, very long circuit.
Well, as I said, the best thing you can do now, as you're fresh off your last race, make
Yeah.
some notes of your performance. And it's important because now that it's fresh in your mind, you know what you did well. Have a page or two about what you did well. Equally, have a page or two about what you can improve on. And that way, when you prepare for your next race,
Yeah.
you can sit down with a fresh, clear mind and say, okay, these are the good things I did, and I'm going to keep doing that in this race. But these are the things I'm going to improve. And when you write down the things you can improve on, you write actionable steps. So you can say, well, I wasn't defending the inside line. So that means next time I'm going to make sure that I'm observant about my surroundings. There's somebody behind, make sure to defend. Equally, maybe I'm too aggressive on the first lap. Sometimes I need to let everyone else sort of do their aggressive starts, bump each other, and then I pick up the pieces, make up positions like that. Just different things that you observe from that. And then it's a matter of implementing as much experience as possible in these races. Be priceless for you.
Yeah, and
Hopefully, yeah.
so much of human gear.
Human DRS, yeah.
Human gear.
I can imagine you need it on the long straights,
Yeah.
especially, even
It's
if
not
it's a few hundreds.
straight, it was full. I could not see anything. But I found a way that see very well on human gear.
Absolutely. Was there anything else you wanted to
Yeah,
discuss?
about
Go for
cameras.
it. Go for it.
So GoPros, they're knowing a guide to perfect.
Sorry,
Just want
you're cutting out. You're cutting out. Just repeat what you said.
I want to know what cameras are good for like karting and have a good price.
Yeah. You definitely go for a GoPro if you want just plug and play. Because remember, it's one thing getting the camera, and then how easily can you watch your footage? Do you have a laptop at home?
Yeah.
So if you want to watch on your laptop, just get a SD card reader, and GoPro is the best for that. Additionally, you can look into getting even a DJI that's very similar price and also very similar features. I think it's got different lenses as well, and I've seen that the the DJI footage looks a lot faster. Let me try and show you some footage.
So there's this camera. I'm not sure what brand it is, but it looks pretty good. It's a body camera you put on your shirt and you just film.
Okay, all right, yeah.
It has like an SD card, so I'm thinking of that.
What's that called?
I'm not sure the brand. It's like a body camera.
Interesting. Here's a DJI clip. Let me try and share it with you guys. This looks quick. Yeah, this looks quick. And then I want to try and
But
get
where can I find mounts? I'm not finding any of it.
Amazon. Amazon is the best bet for you, because Amazon is the place where I get all of mine from.
Yeah.
And it comes very, very quickly as well. You just have to have a shipping address set up. All right, let's share the entire screen. Or we can't share the window. We can share a window. No, we can't share the entire screen. Side by side. On the left-hand side, we got DJI.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side, we've got GoPro 10. I think GoPro 10.
Yeah.
Just click on play.
Yeah,
Okay.
the other days we were talking about the Saudi games, like the karting competition.
Tell me about it. Yes.
I've seen so much reels about it right now.
Yeah, the hype is on for Saudi
very
games.
famous. Yeah.
So immediately DJI on the left, wider field of view makes it look faster. But you'll see GoPro on the right. It's a lot clearer, and it obviously means it'll look a bit slower. But the colors I feel are a lot better on GoPro.
Yeah.
GoPro
like has a smaller POV than DJI.
Exactly. So they're very, very similar.
Yeah.
I like GoPro just for the sharpness. It's really clear. It
Mm.
looks very close to real life. But then the DJI, I mean, look at the speed on the left. You must have seen this viral clip on Instagram,
Yeah.
Last Lap Battle. That's my teammate Muhammad. And wow, his video did it really well on Instagram. Guess how many views he got?
Yeah, I've seen it so many times.
You're getting sick of it.
No, but it's actually insane.
It's insane. He got 35 million views on that, which was insane. Very, very interesting battle he got recorded then.
So I've been doing online sim races.
Okay, how's that going?
So each race I'm doing, there's a big crash up online. People, the driving is not really on point, so lots of crashes happen. So
Lots of crashes.
I only got to finish one race. I mean, that was a good race, P2.
Well, keep up as much practice as you can.
Yeah.
And when
So
is
to build-
when's the next race that you're planning
So
to?
maybe in 2 weeks or a week, I have to check right now the schedule. But soon I'm going to for a practice session. Hopefully I'll have a camera by then.
Excellent, excellent. Well, keep us posted, Rami. And you're always welcome to come on Track Help. It's been awesome to have you again.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to move on to the next driver now.
But I just have one question.
Go for it.
You
Before
told
we
me
move on.
to build experience, I do more races, right?
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Take care, Rami. All right, we're gonna move on to Aiden. Eddie. Eddie. You there?
Hello?
Awesome. Can you hear me, Eddie?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent.
So basically, this is on last practice day. Like
Amazing.
The only thing is the day after I gained about a second. So I
Okay.
figured out so many things that I was messing up. Like one big problem I have is braking points. I can't get myself to brake late enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to some other drivers, I was battling with all my friends, and
Yeah.
I was looking behind me in the GoPro, and it just catches up so much in the braking zones.
You're saying this is a GoPro?
Yeah, this GoPro 360 one.
Ah, gotcha. I was wondering. It looks very, very nice. Very, very clear, your footage.
Yeah,
and you
but
managed to get the 360 effect on YouTube,
yeah,
which is awesome.
it's really annoying. It's like a massive pain. Like, just to like, because each time I use it, I have to go in the app, export it as a separate file. It's like something stupid, like 10 gigs.
Oh, okay. that
Just,
must take
it's
ages.
just overall long. To be honest, I'm just looking to get like a Hero 12 soon.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great option. Which practice day is this? Is this just an open session or part of a?
This is the practice before the race weekend. So it's on the race weekend actually. Like
All right, so everyone's
day
going for it. They're being aggressive and
yeah.
it's full more. Which round of the championship is this?
Around 6, 7, I think.
Okay,
I only got my license like I've only started at like round 4.
Gotcha. How's it going this season?
It's going quite well to be fair. Well, apart from last round, someone was backwards in turn 2, and I flew right into him, bent my chassis.
Oh no! Are you using? Is this a Croc?
It's a OTK Cosmic.
Oh, okay, a Cosmic X. I've got a Cosmic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I've got a Cosmic. I was just surprised by the stickers. I think this is a 23 model or 20.
It's a 22, I think.
22. Excellent. Yeah, I've got the 2020 model, so it's got the OG stickers on it.
Yeah.
How have you found going through things like setup on this? Have you really delved into it?
I mean, yeah, because well, for Mex, it's just me and my dad, so we're still learning quite a lot.
Yep, on the go.
We're like last round, in fact, I only learned like how to do caster properly.
Okay.
Like, I was on half caster the whole time, and then someone tried, try full caster. I tried it. I could instantly. It was so much better, you know.
Right. And how's it been competing with others? Are there other people majority in OTK or like?
Yeah. It's like there's literally like 1 KR last round, and it was like a couple barrels.
Really?
Yeah, it's like all OTK pretty much.
Excellent. How's the engine holding up? Did you get it
Engine's
new or?
quite. Yeah, I mean, it feels really good to be honest. I got recently it rebuilt. It needed one, and it's a lot more power. I'll give you that.
Yep.
Jetting, I'm alright with jetting. You just use the app, just stick it in, and it works.
Amazing. After
Yeah.
how many hours did you get it rebuilt?
15.
15 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot more than Miami, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. What is Miami, like 10?
Yeah, 5 to 7 hours. I know some guys are doing. So it's tough. So you're telling me braking is something you're trying to get the hang of. Is it late braking?
Yeah, definitely. I don't have like that much confidence like when it comes to late braking, especially like before the bus stop, which is the one with the massive blue curb, and bottom corner, which is like I don't know what turn it is. It's like the one at the bottom.
We'll come up to it now, hopefully.
Yeah.
On this lap.
Like it's just after this long left, not long
Awesome.
left, but after this corner, basically the one at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's one I can't get like to brake myself to brake late on.
This turn over here.
Yeah. Not this. Just this one, pretty much.
Gotcha. Let's just put it into a bit of slow mo. See what's happening. Seems there's a driver in front as well for a nice reference. So basically, come through the fast right, and yeah, there's that blue curb on the inside. I know what you're talking about. So it's this turn over here.
No, this one's
No,
flat.
okay.
The one after this is I can't get myself to brake late enough, pretty much.
Downhill.
See how I'm braking a lot earlier. Yeah. And also after this straight here, this corner is into bus stop basically.
And is this the chicane you're talking about then?
Yeah, this one, bus stop.
Let's go for it. We're really hard on the brakes on this lap. Awesome.
Because it's like quite the deceleration, because I just keep thinking, if I lock, I'm straight into the wall,
And it's one of those corners because you're carrying so much speed. Hard on the brakes. Initially in the corner. Let's just switch it up so you can see my pen as well. What set of tires was this? Relatively worn?
These are Mojo D2s.
Excellent.
They're a couple rounds old. They weren't too bad, but yeah, they're still grippy, just a bit old.
Reference for braking here, is it the orange cone, you'd say? Or
I mean, it's meant to be like I've found from all the other people, they try at the end of the little kink.
Yep.
So I'm braking at the start. Other people are braking like at the end of the kink,
Interesting. So just over here, right? There's
So yeah, that's pretty much why I brake, and then at the end, you see. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
There.
There's I can see the difference on that. And as the tires sort of wear, have you found it changes for you, your braking, or is it generally consistent?
To be honest, I've only really been on old tires.
Okay.
I don't really.
That's a positive. You learn good habits from that.
But I don't know, mate. That course could also make a huge difference. But I found like it's not made the biggest difference.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Really the time will be gained. You will see the difference when you put on a fresh set of tires. But if you're just dealing with, as you're saying, used tires on a regular basis, establish a certain point and then feel out the limit. So have you tried braking later and later in some of the corners? Just consciously think, okay, I'm gonna put my foot down.
Yeah.
What happens?
Afterwards the race day, and I was a lot quicker. I tried it, and I think just in general race days, I don't know. I feel like they have more grip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Used.
That's it.
I felt a lot more confident braking later, but it's just even sometimes like on the race days, like the earlier heats and stuff, I just not confident enough, I don't know.
Yeah, that's totally normal how you're feeling, and the best way to overcome it is rather than saying the only fix is I have to brake later. Sometimes look at the whole thing objectively, and what you don't want to do is brake too late one lap, messes up sort of your line. Maybe you miss a bit of the apex, and then your exit is completely messed up as well. It's about being within that limit sometimes. So what you want to do is literally lap by lap go, half a second later and later and later. You can do on timing, you can do on visual markers. So I'm just passing this kink down now, I'll press it. And I like the technique though you're using, because what's happening here is hard on the brakes, watch your steering wheel, it stays relatively neutral. Now you're actually holding a tiny bit of counter steer, which means transferring that load to the front tires, really getting the weight transfer to the front. And that technique looks great. The only fix to this would be, if you're obviously able to slap on a fresh set of tires, this will feel a lot more conservative. You'll be like, easy, I can brake halfway down. But if you've pretty much found the limit for this corner, line looks good, you move on to the next one. And generally, this looks like quite a high-speed track with a lot of these points, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's all pretty much, to be honest, like compared to some other tracks I've driven, it's pretty much the straights. Like, I mean, I say that there's a couple corners, like, there's like a few, but it's quite high speed.
Yeah, and honestly, on especially on worn tires, so corners like this where you're approaching high speed, sometimes you got to think, I'm not going to have the grip to fight these guys by braking late. I might have to be a bit conservative with my braking point, brake it a bit earlier, but then catch them back up on the exit. Sometimes better exit speed is the way to go with used tires, because what you don't want to do again is brake too late, understeer in the corner, miss the apex, and then the whole corner is destroyed. The logic is, all right, we got used tires. Let's sacrifice some time on entry by braking early, but at least we can regain it back by having a decent exit. What happens if you mess everything up by braking too late on used tires? Messes up the line, messes up the apex and the exit speed. So try and mitigate that as much as possible. And yeah, you will have to be a bit more conservative with your overall driving. But think about exits. Be on the gas sooner.
Yeah, I mean, as well, I think in this one I was on a slightly lower sprocket as well.
True.
Yeah, the top end does help loads, honestly.
Yeah. I was gonna say, and do you adjust it frequently from track to track as well?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You have to do at least how many laps do you do before you make major changes? Is it just before the race?
I mean, to be honest, I just like slap a sprocket on for a day and keep save sprocket, and then like pressures obviously before every session. I judge if it's hot enough, maybe go one lower, and then like rear width, I just keep it fixed at like 139 centimeters, or like I don't really change it too much, I just kind of leave it.
Yeah, and it's good to make notes as well each time, whatever you do, mentally, and even writing things down, and then also just track to track what the biases are and what works, what you might want to change. And as long as it's not changing too much, then it's easy to fiddle around with things. When's the next race for you?
It's at just the start of October, but I'm not too sure if I can make it at the moment. But hopefully.
Is it going to be raining?
I hope not, because to be honest, I am terrible at setting up the wet and in the wet in general.
The wet weather driving is a challenge. How many races have you done in the wet?
One.
Just one. And how was that?
It's not the greatest, to be honest, because I didn't have the wet front sprocket. I just have the normal dry one.
Gotcha.
So the gearing was way off, and I can't get a hang of braking as well, even in the wet.
In the wet,
way too early.
In the wet, it's a completely different line, completely different style as well. Sometimes you don't even have to be quick in the dry, but you can be quick in the wet just by having the right driving style. And especially in owner cars, it gets a bit more tricky. But did you use wet tires, I assume? That's the advantage you have over rentals, at least.
Yeah.
Who are stuck on slicks.
Yeah.
So have you just stopped indoor karting now? And you're more
I do indoor karting every now and then, for a bit of fun.
Of
but
course,
I'm focusing mostly on the Rotax.
Yeah, and how often do you sort of train for this then? Do you have a schedule in place, and then based on that you do the races?
I just kind of turn up whenever races.
All right,
I'll race. Why not?
And that will be across a few days, though, right? The race weekend.
The race weekend is just the Saturday practice and a Sunday. It's just like the Sunday was just 3 heats and a final.
Yeah.
And
You feel that's enough?
yeah, because
Yep,
it
this week.
really takes a toll at the end of the day. You know, like my neck will be hanging off because,
Of
especially with the
course.
high speed, yeah. Like especially after a weekend, after I've done the like like about an hour total
Oh,
practice, and then it's the day after. It's got the race as well. It's a lot.
speaking of wet driving, we had Shmel over here. He's saying in Bulgaria the outside line is not working. You know, track to track, it'll depend. What line do you take in the wet?
I what in the wet?
Depends.
Just the opposite, really. Like
Yeah.
if like the racing line, because obviously it's rubbered in a lot. I just
Mm-hmm.
try to take the complete opposite, because that'll be where in the wet it might have slightly more grip.
Of course.
And there's still a lot to learn for me in the wet, to be honest. I'm still like, that was my one wet race,
Yeah.
And over winter there's many more to come, isn't there?
No, this is the season now. It's summer's over. You'll be lucky to get a dry race. Try and use a bit more of the curbs sometimes as well.
Yeah.
And then even your body weight a lot, you can manipulate that in the dry. But then it's really sketchy, especially with road tax. When you put that power down, you get a lot of wheel spin, and then it's like, oh, I'm really having to be on edge. But it's fun at the same time. Once you get into a flow, then it's very difficult to stop you.
I think, well, even like with time, it'll come to me, because anyway, I've only done one road race in road tax.
Experience, anyway. Yeah, that's it. Experience is king. And you will get more and more confident each time. And eventually you want to get to the level where you like driving in the wet. Once you become to that level as a driver, it's a huge advantage you have over your competitors, because generally everyone is conservative, and the line is completely different. Style is different. Was there anything else you wanted to go over?
That was it, to be honest. I mean, hopefully if I do next race, I'll have some actual race footage.
Yeah, it's been awesome to review it, and thanks a lot for sharing it again. Some great footage, and we look forward to that October round then. Yeah. For some maybe wet weather footage.
Maybe.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining. You can stay on the live meet, or you can watch on the live stream, as we're just going to take a quick break for some comments. Over on YouTube, we had Kareem who's trying to join. Kareem, I've just admitted you, and you'll be able to join this meet. Go ahead, submit your track map in the pinned comment, or if you have some footage as well. You said you needed some help. Let's hopefully go through that. We had Def Not Knee or Def No Tone on Instagram. He's saying, do you guys believe that the mobile game Street Kart is a semi-accurate racing game? Wow, I've never heard of Street Kart. Let's see what Street Kart is. Has anyone played Street Kart before? Street Kart. Doesn't look like I can even locate the app. It looks like it's one of these. Okay. Let's share the screen. So, Def Not One is talking about this game. $4.99. Apparently, it looks very realistic. Wow. So they do championships. I'm sure I've seen some footage of this before. Live events. Okay. Wow. And you can compete with people. I mean, this looks amazing. The fact that it's on your phone, no brainer. Practice on the go. So I don't know if it's going to directly correlate to you being very fast in real life. If you just play the game, of course, you need that real life experience. But then on the go, something to mentally get your focus on. It's a great way to do it. What's up to the new drivers? What's up, Kareem? Welcome back.
Hi. Yeah, no, it's actually my first time here.
Welcome, Kareem. Where are you joining us from?
Egypt, but I do my karting in Dubai.
Ah, amazing. Kartdrome, is that your local track?
Yeah, karting. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. How long have you been driving there?
I've really started driving there because I only go on the summer holiday because I'm only 16. Only.
Okay.
So
So it's been a few
I
months.
did the. Sorry.
It's been a few months.
Yeah, I've like
This summer
actually
you
started
started.
driving for the past 2 months.
2 months,
But other
yeah.
than that, it's just like arrive and drive sessions at my local karting track here in Egypt.
Ah, okay, excellent. Are you gonna plan to go back to Dubai, do some more driving there?
Yeah, I go on my holidays because I'm only here for school.
Gotcha.
So I go on my holidays.
Ah, okay, gotcha. I've got some footage in the background whilst we have a chat. Reason I say Dubai is because it's one of the best tracks in the world. It's world famous. They do so many events. They have so
Yeah,
many.
I know.
Yeah.
I've done multiple of their layouts.
In Ironman or SWS?
Ironman. I've also done
Ironman. Wow.
SWS and rookie race nights. And rookie race, I ended up ninth in
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
first one.
Tell us about rookie race nights. What is the concept behind that?
Rookie race nights, they're like kind of for more entry level karters
Mm-hmm.
that just want to get some experience, but like because SWS it has more experienced, faster drivers, so it gives the more rookies and more amateur drivers a chance to like properly fight each other.
And that's the best way to get started because a lot of people feel intimidated. That sprint race is just for professional drivers and things. How can I make the step in? So the rookie race nights is everyone on a similar level, entry level, and you have that same experience. How was your progress with Ironman? And what is Ironman for everyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, Ironman is a hour long session. It's just a practice session. It's
Wow.
based on fastest lap. And it's just like a good way to practice. And every week they rotate the type of circuit. So like I even did the All Stars there, which is the indoor
Mm-hmm.
and the outdoor. So every week they rotate the layout, so you get experience on different corner types, uh, and even though corners that don't change, like turn 2 and 3, it gives you practice on even those.
And I think that's bang for your buck. So you get an hour, more than an hour of karting. And how much is it in AED, let's say?
450.
450. And
Yes,
how much track time again?
an hour.
So let us know in the comments, guys. 1 hour of proper outdoor karting, petrol carts, proper track, $122. So if you do 122 divided by, let's say it's even 10-minute sessions, $12.
Yeah,
Twelve
it's
dollars
really bang
per
for your
10 minutes.
buck because
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
long run, you would be paying like 900 dirhams for a whole hour in the normal 10 minute sessions.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, you can see the track in the background that we've been sharing the footage of. This is the endurance race that they do. But Ironman, you actually prepare for the endurance race through that because you get the full stint technically, an hour and a
Yeah.
half sometimes. So, what is exactly you needed some help with?
I'm just kind of new to this, so I don't
Yeah.
really get a lot of the concepts that I'm supposed to do.
Yep.
I'm kind of just trying stuff. Like even the Ironmans, I would end up like 20th kind of overall. That's my average, which is a
Mm-hmm.
steep improvement from my first Ironman where I ended up dead last by like 5 seconds to the lead. I
Mm-hmm.
got like a good 3 seconds faster
Mm-hmm.
over my 2 months there, but now I'm just kind of stuck there and I don't know how to improve.
Mm-hmm. Totally normal uh, questions that you have, especially because you're getting into this sport now. And what you got to do is sit down and make a plan. So whenever you start racing, you normally have a local track. Let's say your local track is Dubai. I mean, it can be any track in the world. It might be a track in Egypt. It might be a track wherever. Main thing is break it down into different sectors. And when you can break a track down into different sectors, then you can see which parts of the track you're strong at, which parts of the track you're losing time to drivers. I'm going to try and share my screen and
Yeah, if you
bring
want,
up some
I
maps.
have my own footage that I
You got your own
uploaded to
footage.
YouTube.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
go
I
for it.
uploaded the Monaco All Stars layout. It was the first time they did it.
Awesome.
So I was also kind of struggling with the indoor part because I don't know if you did the All Stars before.
Yeah.
But going to the
What?
indoor part, it's like 3 different track surfaces and they're all
Yeah.
widely different. So I really struggled with that area.
You have a YouTube link of it?
Yeah. Where can I post it in the chat?
Post in the chat. You can even put it on the Academy pinned comment.
Yeah, I put it in the chat in the call.
Got it. Let's just open that up. And how long ago was this recorded?
You can skip to like the 10-minute mark or something because most of it is just like the formation app and stuff.
Gotcha. So this is nighttime, and it looks
Yeah, it's
like
nighttime because they
it's
start at,
July.
like,
Wow, how humid was it this day?
it was extremely humid. I think it was like a good 80% humidity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dirty drivers there.
And it's packed. Wow.
Front.
It is packed. Look at this. This is Kartchrome at its busiest. And honestly, this is good because you come across different level drivers. Some guys, you're going to overtake. Others, they might overtake you, and then you can try and keep up from behind. So
yeah, that's the
I'm
like trying to follow someone. I tried to follow them, but I ended up just making mistakes of my own.
Yeah.
And I just am using them kind of.
You see, what I would ideally recommend, Ironman is great, maybe once every couple of weeks, but your real training should be staggered. So let's say it's 10-minute sessions or 15-minute sessions at a time, and you can still do 1 hour. So you do 4 15-minute sessions. The idea is within each session break, you can sit down and objectively look at certain things through your footage, certain things that you might want to try differently in the next session. So if I book 4 sessions, 4 15-minute sessions, session 1 is focusing on the first sector. Sector 1 might comprise of 3-4 corners, right? Working on the line for those corners. And in those individual corners, look at the entry point. Where should I be on entry? Should I be wide? Should I be in the middle? Should I be tight? The apex. Should it be a mid apex, an early apex, a late apex? And the exit. Where should I position my car on exit to prepare for the corner ahead? And you do that individually for each corner, each sector at a time. And then you'll realize, hold on, sector 1, that's easy. It's quite a simple line. But hold on,
sector 1
now,
because sector 1 stays the same for for all of them. I got pretty good at it.
Exactly. So that's a strength that you're gaining in the driver in front. Sector 2 and 3, maybe that's where it gets tricky, where it converts the indoor part of the circuit. And really in karting, there's lots of trends. There's going to be corner after corner.
Yeah, I think here was
Oh my word, that's huge.
someone fun. Yeah, someone fun. I had a pretty bad crash that someone
look at this.
right in front of me.
Yeah.
And I was just like too late into the corner too late.
Yeah. That's really lucky not to be even worse. But that is what it is, especially when they try and change it to the indoor layout. You're gonna get people. I think.
Yeah.
How was your kart?
This car was actually decent. Yeah, that's the thing I like about karting because you use the SWS parts.
Yeah.
Most of them are usually pretty even.
Excellent.
Like sometimes you have like slightly worse handling or like bad tires or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't change the car and it's completely fine.
So just following back, you're gonna do multiple sessions. You're gonna have a break in between each session. Analyze what you want to do next for the upcoming session. Now, each session there should always be notes you write down of things you did well. Let's say my line through turn 1, 2, and 3 was good, but also things you want to improve in the next session. My braking for turn 7 and 8 could have been better, and then you make an actionable step. So why could the braking be better for turn 7 and 8? I was braking too late and sliding. That means I need to bring the braking back early and make sure I keep my revs high. Simple things like that. And if you go through that step by step through the entire track, then you'll be able to bring some purpose to your sessions and structured approach. Very important, because it's easy to do lots of laps, but then you get stuck. You hit a dead end, and you think, how can I go beyond that? How can I go beyond that? So always be observant in your sessions. What am I doing well? Where am I losing to other drivers? Especially in these open sessions, you can tell. Let's say you catch up to some drivers. Are you gaining on them? Are you losing to the guy in front?
Yeah,
Even
some I was really gaining on, but the problem is, like, in the Ironmans especially, there's like the top 15, 20 drivers, and then there's everyone else. And there's usually like a big gap between them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like right in the middle of them. So like
That's the best place to be.
Yeah, it's a weird place to be. It's a really weird place.
Harry, you got a question?
Oh no, sorry, I accidentally clicked it.
No worries, no worries. So being in the middle of the pack is good because you're competitive, right? Yes, there's guys to catch in front, but at least you're quicker than the guys behind.
Yeah, and then
Small things like this. Look, this is a simple bit of just overdriving, carrying a bit too much speed, coming through a hairpin turn over here. So what would you do better next time to avoid that?
I would probably try probably braking more and not try to take too much speed, because
Exactly.
there I was trying to experiment. Maybe if I don't use my brakes, I would go faster. Then after the session, I learned the trick from the other drivers where you could like quickly flick it to the left and then, or to the right and then to the left again. It just gives you a lot of rotation. That's something I didn't know before.
And I love that. I love that you're experimenting, and you should experiment, because only when you know in the moment, I took too much speed there, I've hit the barrier, I need to brake more for that corner. And as you said, I need to flick the car to the left. Speak to other drivers. Other drivers at the track will give you some really good pointers.
Yeah, I learned a lot from the drivers.
Yeah, it's amazing. So really, it's about, number one, establishing your local track, and then going there regularly. Set a regular training routine, whether it's going for Ironman races or just general public sessions. And to supplement that, then go for like a monthly sprint race. Every month you can join competition where you can put your skills to the test. Ultimately, that's what karting is all about.
Every month they usually have one week race a month, and then the SWS they usually have it like every other week or every month.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, superb. So you managed to race with weights, right?
Yeah, because I weighed, by the end of it, I was like with all the gear and stuff, I was weighing around 70 kilos, but I put in 15 kilos of ballast then. But at the beginning, I was in all 20.
Exactly, it's about 15 kilos. Honestly, it's such a challenge than adding weights when it goes near to 20 or 30 kilos. I know drivers, they get really messed up in terms of the balance when that happens. But
yeah, especially here, I also have a big problem with my keeping my tires in check, because after a couple laps, they'll just overheat. So corners like actually, if you go back like 10, 20 seconds, maybe. So it's in even the high speed corner where you ideally just brake a tiny bit, to get some rotation in, and then it's just flat out. There, I would have to lift a lot, or else I would just go completely offline.
Yeah. And in these karts, it's all about listening to the sound of the engine. You can hear it very clearly on these karts, but always prioritize that engine being high on the exit of the corner. It's all right just to sacrifice a bit on entry where you're braking early, you're lifting early. On exit B, you can hear that brrr sound. That needs to be as high pitch as possible.
Most of the time I was losing was on exit. Like my entries were pretty good, even sometimes better. Like in this corner here, especially when you have the very long straight. I'm probably one of the best in that corner.
There you go. So you're already finding things that you're good at.
Even here, I took a bit more curb, so I didn't have to
really love the aggression. And what you'll feel now when you're more aggressive is a flow. You're not even having to think about it so much. You're just doing it instinctively. And eventually,
and you're seeing that in that stop, I'm doing so much speed on the exit.
What a move. This was a really nice move because you set this up all the way from the chicane. So left, right.
Yeah, the third just
by the line.
Enough.
Yeah,
and down the inside. Just open itself up, and with that, you gain so much speed.
And ultimately, that's the level you want to get to, where you're driving now on instinct rather than thinking about each and every technical detail.
And so the best of 1 and 2, and 3 here also. Those I really got to know on anything. Like that corner there, I was having a lot of trouble with. I would try to take the cat out. So I was just sliding and losing so much speed on exits. So I was sliding, and then I figured out just tap the brakes a bit, take a bit of curb,
Yep.
and but I didn't figure it out in that session. I figured it out like a session or two after.
After that, exactly. And also, this is a typical corner where immediately from the left, you have to go to the right. So flick the cart to the right. As you flick it to the right, lean out. Use your body weight to load the outside tires, a bit more grip can help with
Yeah, I
cornering.
was leaning. It's just because the
Yeah.
camera has really good stabilization.
Yeah.
It doesn't really show.
No, of course, of course.
Yeah,
I
here
think
also I would brake by like halfway before the curb.
bit of
And I would
rotation.
stick the curb. Here, just take all the curb I want. And then here in that corner, because it's a really open corner and there's not really that many markers, I kind of get confused sometimes on where to brake. Like here, like that was a pretty good take on how to take it. But other times I would just go completely offline. I was just trying to experiment and stuff.
I think it's a really good footage that you shared there, and honestly, you've got a good foundation. The main thing now is maintaining that. Which tracks are local to you in Egypt?
That's the thing. It's either the track is bad, but they have decent carts, or the track is good. Like the longest track I have here is 750 meters. It's not that long.
Okay, not bad.
And it's many just straight with a hairpin or two.
Gotcha. Just try to get out there, see what track is best, and then see which tracks do competitions. I know there's something called the Egypt Karting Club. They do a lot of
yeah,
events.
They're bringing the Miami in this year. They're bringing the Miami in this year in Egypt, but it's really expensive. Like for an average person, it's
owner karting. It's a different
going on
level.
£1 million a season. Like it's going on £1 million a season, which is like a lot.
That's crazy. That's Egyptian pounds, yeah.
Egyptian pounds.
Yeah. 1 million Egyptians. How much is that in, let's say, dollars, for example?
In dollars, that would be like 30,000, I think.
30,000, yeah. So you're bang on the, competitive fees for Miami, definitely, because
that's the thing. Like
that's really, really tough to fork out just for is that for a season, right? A season of racing with
that's just for one season. No, like the cart here is, if I wanted to buy a cart, it would be around 400,000 pounds, which is that's double my yearly school tuition. That's double of that.
That's crazy. No, honestly, stick to rental karting. It's affordable, it's accessible, and I know they were doing some owner cart not owner cart, it's a rental cart with a owner cart engine races just over the summer. A friend of mine, Omar Slim. Do you know Omar Slim?
We have that here, except the track.
Driver Omar Slim. He won that race in summer. He was in Egypt. He was visiting back home, and he sent me some photos of this race. So it was a Biralat. They sponsored the event. They provided a Rotax engine with a
Birel RT. They're coming in. They have they built a new track in the North Coast. I'm yet to see it. So they have all brand new Birel ART rental carts, and they also sell this chassis. They sell the Pro Kart chassis here. They're 350,000 pounds, I think, but they don't have the Miami engines. They have the I think it's like a BM or something like that.
Gotcha.
It's a 2-stroke 125cc, 25-ish horsepower, I think.
Yep. It's competitive in owner carts, and there's lots of possibilities. You're on a good way though. I'd say keep up as much practice as you can during the times you're in Dubai. Of course, that's some of the best you can do.
Yeah, most of my practice is focused when I'm in Dubai, because here, like, we do have an RMAX, but the track is a parking lot.
Okay, so it's just limited in terms of layout and things.
Yeah, it's really limited, and the decent tracks here, because they're like always fully booked out too. Like you can never get to go there. If you just show up, if you just show up, the waiting times are like 3-4 hours, and even then, the carts, the engines are physically out of the cart. Even with the cover on it, they're
Yeah.
just sticking out of the cart. The carts are really bad.
Oh, they're not well maintained.
Yeah, they're not well maintained at all.
No worries. It's honestly been great to have you join on, Kareem. We're gonna have to move to the next
Yes.
driver now. But was there anything else you
Yeah,
wanted to?
I'll just stay in if I need anything.
Yeah, was there anything else you wanted to cover just before we move on?
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you: have you ever done like karting races that are for like charity and stuff, like fundraisers?
A great question. Something directly to charity, I have not. No. I know there was a. This is a bit similar, but there was a race where the one of the race directors, established guys who was obviously running this event for years, he passed away. And the years that followed, there's always a tribute towards him, and there's even an award given under his name. So, in terms of direct charity, no, I haven't, but this version there was.
Yeah, because because I'm doing the IB, so we need to do like CAS projects and stuff. So
All
I
right,
was thinking to make like a karting fundraiser event here in Egypt. So I was
nice,
wondering
nice.
if so I'm trying to get like people who participated or something to like kind of
Yeah,
establish like something I can be able to do it and get some help. So I'm
of
trying to do
course.
that because here in Egypt there isn't really anything like that, and I want to like
Yeah,
mix karting or racing with helping people here.
most certainly, it's a very very good idea, and you let us know how you get on because it's a good project to
Yeah, I
pursue.
will. Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Kareem, for joining. You can stay on this live meet, or you can follow on the live stream. We've got about half an hour to go, guys, and it's great to see the engagement. We've had so many more people join the academy, so many people on the live. I want to get through everybody, but hopefully we have enough time. Let's just have a quick chat with everyone based on who joined. What's up, Connor? Welcome to Track Out, Connor.
Hi.
How have you been, Connor?
All right. You?
First time you're joining Track Out?
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm gonna guess Harry referred you.
Not exactly,
Not
but
exactly. Okay.
I do race Harry in Cup 100s quite often.
Okay. I was gonna say I just saw this footage that you put on, and I noticed you had a picture of you doing Club 100. I thought you might have been one of Harry's friends. Harry's been referring lots of people to the academy, which is awesome. And just whilst we chat, I just want to go over this bit of footage you got in the back. Brighton karting in the wet. Last time we saw Brighton karting was Benjamin Hamilton's footage. It was one of his fastest laps in the dry. He did, I think, what was it, 47 or something like that on the laps on YouTube.
47.
47.5 or something like that.
Yeah, it's probably like a 40. His fastest lap, I think, is like a 43.
Sorry, 43.
I'm a heavyweight, so
gotcha.
Like I'm not too. I'm like 2 tenths off of the pace, and I mean, in this clip. It's my first time in the Sodies in the wet.
Wow.
I had driven the other karts, but they perform a lot differently. So in these, they're a lot more like understeery.
Yeah.
But in the other ones, they're a lot more oversteery. So like mid corner, I would just have I would be used to be sliding, so I was like chucking it, and then I was expecting the slides, then I would just oversteer.
Yep.
A bit too much. So, but I think in this I was like 3 tenths off. So
okay.
Hopefully next time I go in the wet, I should hopefully get on the pace a bit more. But
so this is a different Sodi. You're saying there's 2 models of Sodi, so is it?
Yeah. So I think it's a Sodi RT7 and a Sodi RT8. I'm not exactly sure, but they use different tires. So I think they use like a very hard compound on the kart I'm in, and then the other one's like a semi-soft compound. So they're like, the grip is a lot different.
And it'll definitely impact the handling, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And this looks like a very wet track, to be honest.
Yeah. It carried on
during
raining.
the session, right?
Yeah, it carried on raining. I think it got worse, like literally as I came off track.
Right. And how did you change your driving compared to the dry now in the wet? What are the things you're doing?
I mean, turning later.
Okay.
And I also just like shift my body weight.
Yep. You got to lean more.
It's not very noticeable, but I do it often. I don't lean as much, but so I'm sitting in the seat and I kind of move I throw my body to the seat so it moves to the rear end of the cart more.
Exactly. And are you sat quite far back?
Yeah. I'm like, I think in this clip, I think I'm the second to last or third to last.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. But you're a tall driver.
Yeah, I'm like 6 foot something. I don't really know.
Your knees are, already bending at that point, I can imagine.
Yeah.
No, you can use your body weight to your advantage though, especially when you're taller. And in the wet, definitely it'll help. What about the line itself?
I mean, in like the line, I know I'm not the best in the chicane, so the last 2 corners. As one of the staff, I know he came out on track, but I was ahead of him most of the clip, but he was telling me that I'm like not turning in enough. Where all of the drivers who do their thing called kart masters, so it's their championship.
Okay.
They all run over the curb but don't get on the throttle. So where I was taking it, assuming it was going to be like a normal wet line, so I was going to turn in later and then cut back on myself.
Yeah.
But obviously it was a lot different. And then most of these corners, like one of the turn ones, the downhill corner, a long right-hander, I think I was taking a bit too much of a dry line, so I was losing a little bit of acceleration, but it's like the hairpin going up the hill. I think that's probably the best corner I have, because it's the corner where it's like a simple dry line. It's normally it's a normal dry line.
Exactly. Out.
Yeah.
Stay wide. I'm just trying to wait for this to come back to the chicane at some point. Oh, let's just skip back. Are we coming to the chicane now? Is this the chicane?
Yeah, this is the chicane.
So you're saying that they go directly across to the first one?
Yeah, they go directly across the first one, and then just like they don't touch the brakes or touch the throttle until they're on exit. Where
and they'll straight line to the next part?
Yeah, they just straight line it. So they hit the curb and then they just go straight on.
Nice.
But it's obviously different, because the dry line, you kind of, instead of going, you go over the first curb, like how they do it in the wet, and then you kind of cut back a little bit and then go straight over the
that's
where the tire barrier is. It bends a little bit more, so you can cut behind it a little bit, and then you cut the corner a bit. But I was trying to experiment because it was my first time, and I mean, I think I did all right, as I was only like 3 temps off the pace. But
no, not bad at all. And remember, the guys have probably got the lap regular, or they're the marshals who can drive regularly in the wet. But it's interesting you mentioned that line, because what you'll find is you can use the curbs to your advantage in the wet, and sometimes taking a really unorthodox random line, something where you're going for an aggressive turn and then you're coasting, as you said, no brake, no gas, just let the cart roll and then get on the gas on the exit. That's very interesting, and that's different driving styles you can learn in the wet, and it's totally driver dependent. That's why when it's wet weather, really the grid gets mixed up. You see in F1 time and time again. Remember the year when Russell got third in qualifying in a Williams?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just a couple of years ago. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there were, factors to that, but the fact that he put it on a second row with wet conditions, it was torrential rain that time. They had to call off the race. I think it was that bad. But then there's classic times like Verstappen. If you go on to watch the 2016 Brazilian Grand Prix, wow,
Oh yeah.
The guy is taking these, wide lines, and he's overtaking. It was Nico Rosberg at that time, and then Verstappen spun out, so he lost all those places, and then he gained it back to, I think it was a podium. It was amazing the way he drove in the wet.
Yeah.
So those are that translates over to karting itself as well, where you don't have to be the quickest driver in the dry, as long as you can find your flow and confidence in the wet, which is insane. Because the confidence isn't about being aggressive in the wet; it's about keeping the car on track, keeping things flowing. And that's what you'll find just by getting lots of experience. Imagine the first time you went out on track in the wet, and then compared to now, how do you feel?
Probably quite good. I mean, obviously I was in a different car that's like a bit slower, but
yeah,
it was quite bad because I mean I was getting gapped by one of my friends that I race quite often. Indoor. I don't race him too often now, but when we were indoor, we were only like 2 tenths off each other, and then we went to the outdoor track, and it was his first time in the wet and my second time at the track, and he I think it was like a 4-second gap compared to now, where I'm only 3 tenths off of a guy who I think he's actually like British GP champion or something along those lines.
Wow, that's amazing, and that's experience, right? Just by doing more and more sessions in the wet, and it's not going to change from now. I think the summer months are over, right, in the UK.
Yeah, it's got like a lot colder.
It's a lot colder. How many degrees is it nowadays?
Normally like 18, but it's weird because there's like heat waves. So one day it might be like 16 degrees, and the next day it's like 24. So you never know, really.
It was 7 degrees last week.
7 degrees. Whereabouts are you, Stevie? North?
Gainsborough, near Broughton Park.
Yeah, that's right. So you're north, where you're not going to get much sun now.
No, not a lot.
Keep the footage coming, Connor. It's been awesome to review. Was there anything else you want to cover before we move on to the next one?
One of the corners, it's like it's like a quick right left. It's quite weird because the first part is a wet. It's a bit of a wet line, and then the second one turns into a dry line. So it's quite awkward because if you go wide a little bit for the dry line, the wet line, and then you have to come back onto the dry line. You use the curb for the grip.
Is it after turn 1?
It's after the hairpin we're coming up to.
All right, let's try and get the pen out now. Let's see. So over the bridge.
Yeah, over the bridge, and then there's a little straight bit, and then you carry on, and then you end up into the corner. It's this corner coming up. So you have to take a wet line, and then and this clip I'm obviously on traffic.
Yeah.
But if you go to the
normal,
if you go to the wet line that's normal, you end up losing about like 3 tenths just because you've gone out wide.
Wow.
You have like a worse entry to the hairpin, where if you take it like in a dry way, you slide a little bit, but you also get like a better like corner entry for the next one.
Mm-hmm. So basically, entry, you stay on the left on the curb, I assume, like
yeah,
and then it's a sharp right-hand hairpin. So do you want to stay wide here? You're saying?
Yeah, you it's in the dry, you stay on that, and then you turn in. As there's after the curb, there's a little dirt patch where wheels have hit it.
Okay.
In the wet, if you turn in there, the curb on the inside's really slippy because there's a load of rubber.
Yes.
So you end up losing speed, but you also have to there's no on the outside, it's too slippy as well.
Okay.
You have to find a sweet spot of grip. So it's quite awkward. Right. It's quite an awkward corner.
Interesting. So sort of in the middle you want to be, and then feather the throttle so there's no excessive sliding or wheel spin and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing, because you got to be observant of There's no fixed way to do each corner. So you can't say the wet line is you got to stay on the outside. That's a general understanding. Yep, it'll help you for a number of corners, but rare cases like that, yeah, go for the middle, because you have to test out where the grip is. Other times, like the chicane you're telling me, coast, you don't have to be on the gas, you don't have to be on the brakes. Just let the cart roll in the corners. So yeah, foundation is generally the grip is going to be on the outside during the wet, but then corner to corner, track to track, it is going to vary. Stay observant is all I'd say, and you're only going to achieve that by practicing on different wet conditions. So sometimes it'll just be a light shower, so it'll be moderately down.
Yeah.
Sometimes a downpour, similar to what you filmed there. And then sometimes it'll be raining, then the sun will come out, then it'll rain again, and it's just an ongoing process. So you'll learn a lot through that.
Yeah.
And just keep putting in the laps. That's what I advise.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining, Connor. You can stay
Thank
on
you.
the live meet, or you can follow on the live stream. We've got about 15 minutes, guys. I want to try and get through as many people as possible between now and then. Kareem, you got some footage from the first session and the last. If you want to see how much I progressed, you can cut it out. Perfect. Go for an edited clip and then, post a link on it on the pinned comment in the academy. Would love to hopefully review it sometime next week. We got Hassan. What's up, Hassan? Welcome
Hi,
back.
Omar. Thank you.
How have you been, Hassan?
I've been great.
Did you manage to sort out your upload issues? Remember from last week?
I had some issues, but
Yeah.
But I have a clip basically. So
You have-
8-minute clip of the 30-minute session.
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that in a moment. What's up, Gabriel? Welcome, Gabriel. Hope you can hear us.
Hi.
Hey, what's up, Gabriel? Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from Brazil.
Amazing. Sao Paulo?
No, I am in Minas Gerais.
Minas Gerais. Wow. Is that north,
Yeah,
south?
it's close to São Paulo.
It's close to Sao
More
Paulo.
up on the north.
I'm a very big fan of the great Ayrton Senna and his documentary. What a documentary that was.
Yeah, he's an idol for us as a driver and as a person also.
Absolutely. That documentary went in depth of everything from karting to formula to personal life, and then his faith as well. He was very, very committed person, and sad for him to lose his life, but he lost it doing something he devoted his life to. Is he still talked about until today? People always bring up Senna in Brazil.
Oh, always.
Always, yeah.
Actually, I think nowadays we lack heroes like Senna. So
Like Senna.
he's always in our minds.
He was a special one. And I was really surprised to see footage from the karting track next to the F1 track. Is that correct? Is this the track? Or is it the name is similar?
The
I might be
name,
mistaken.
yeah.
That's what caught me off guard. I thought the name is exactly like the F1. How do you pronounce it, first of all?
Yeah, this is the car track, José Carlos Passi. It's the same name of Interlagos track.
Yeah, that's it, Interlagos.
From F1. Yeah, it has this name is also because José Carlos Passi raced here, and he was one of the drivers that first raced at this track, and
okay.
also together with Ayrton Senna, who raced here
Really?
many times and won his second championship here in Brazil, his karting championship here in Brazil, in this very same track.
Wow, that is amazing. And this is a practice session that you recorded over here?
Yeah, the footage is from practice and also from the race, a quick race, 5 minutes of practice and 15 minutes of race. It's my second time there,
Okay.
and I'm very amateur, but
How long have you done karting for?
well, I racing kart for like 18 months,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'm racing every twice a month now.
Yeah.
So I want to get better and better.
You're slowly getting a routine going, and that's key in
Yeah.
karting, especially when you want to improve. Set a time, whether it's in the month or in the week, that you want to dedicate for practice. And really, getting out on track is one of the best feelings, number one. And then it's a chance for you to push. You know, you got an amazing track over here, and some decent karts as well. And the layout, as we can see on the top left hand side of our screen, is quite challenging. Like, it's got a good range of corners. Is there any specific corners that you struggle with at this track?
Yeah, yeah, I have. There is um, uh, two turns uh, opposite that I have very. It's difficult for me in this footage. Just a few minutes later, it's now that's the
These
first
corners, right? This is the first hairpin.
that's
Yeah.
the first corner, and that's the second.
Yeah.
In that second, it's hard to get right the entry, the speed, and the exit, because on the exit one time I pushed it too hard and went out of the track and lost a lot of time in there. I was in second already, and lapping the last places, but then I lost a lot of positions and finished
Yeah.
in fifth.
Oh, okay. So it's just that one corner that, or a couple of corners that really
It's
affected
harder.
you. Do you have a track map? Because when I type this in on Google Maps, it comes up with the no. This is the one, right? This is the track.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say I was mistaken for Interlagos for just a moment, but it's the name, right?
Yeah.
The name catches you off guard. What a track! Now this is no wonder they had the world champion or championship races over here. Just want to interpret your layout very quickly from what we saw on the GoPro. You start the lap over here. You then
turn
come
one, turn
through
two.
these corners, and
Yeah.
then it goes back
Go
over
straight.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. Then you come to the double hairpins, which we're going to solve now.
Yeah.
And you end the lap through the left, right, almost as you can. Look at that. So double hairpin corner is a very common turn at the track. It's always important you look at it from the overhead shot. When you look at it from the overhead shot, you can identify that this is hairpin 1 and this is hairpin 2. Hairpin 1 is a lot wider and then hairpin 2, which is a lot tighter. And that will influence the type of line we take, the type of speed we can carry. Now, what I observed from your driving is braking for the first hairpin. You're already braking for this corner, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I would encourage you to continue braking, because you have to understand we're carrying a lot of speed coming up to the first hairpin over here. So whenever you have a double hairpin, it's important we sacrifice time by braking for the first part. And ideally, now that we've slowed the cart down over here, we can get back on the gas. And as we build up more and more speed, we should be in a position by the second hairpin, barring we enter it wide enough, we should either be able to take it with a lift, so put a dotted line, or flat out, and then we can continue on our way. So basically, in a double hairpin like this, especially when they're connected by a short straight, think about braking early for the first one, building your speed back up through the exit of the first hairpin, and then setting yourself up to take it either lift or flat out for the second part. Now, the way that can be achieved in terms of the line is, let's just try and exit from here. If we can. Full screen, come on, full screen, Control F11. Okay, there we go. Took a few clicks. Let's just pull up a random lap. And ideally without any traffic. We're going to process hairpins. Let's see how you do it on this occasion. So first hairpin we mentioned, it's a longer right-hand turn. Keeping it nice and tight, which is awesome. Flick it to the left for the second one. So what I really like about your driving, number one, it's smooth. And the overall line looks good. So coming up to our first hairpin, is there a certain reference you use for braking? Do you use anything like a curb or maybe some of the track?
Yeah, I try to use this mark on the outside, where is darker. I start braking there, or
just
a little
about
bit
here.
earlier.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Great reference. This is quite consistent because I guess it's paint on the track. What you want to do is brake early. And in terms of turning, we don't want to turn too early where we're going for an early sort of apex. If we look at our overhead shot, this corner, we should try to brake late as you're doing. And go slightly deep into the corner. So what we're now going to do is initiate sort of a sharp but late turn-in. When you do a sharp but late turn-in, you skip the early apex, skip the middle apex. And you see as the corner tightens at the exit, you can sort of hit a late apex now. So where my blue arrow is, that's really the end part of the corner. That's where you want to be close to the curb. But all of this portion over here in blue, we want to skip that. The reason you want to skip that is because it sets us up to take that late apex over here. So late apex. And now look at our entry for the next corner. We're set up on the right-hand side of the track immediately. Yeah. So you did something very similar. Although you hugged the apex earlier, you still stayed to the right-hand side of the track. And now look at your entries. Beautiful. You're on the right-hand side of the track. Having a wide entry, so now the angle of the next corner is set up well. What's happening right now? Are you braking for this corner, lifting? How's it going for you?
Yeah, I'm lifting in almost every lap.
Yeah.
But for my whole race, actually, I thought it was my second time on the track. So this time I took a very better kart, faster.
Yeah.
But this was pushing me to overdrive.
Yeah. So you're sliding a little, or
every time. So I carried too much speed in almost every corner.
Yeah.
Entering very early and sacrificing the exit speed.
Yeah, and that's the
not
opposite.
what I want.
Yeah. You know what I'd rather do? Sacrifice the entry to be fast on the exit. And it sounds simple, but especially when you have a fast car, you don't realize that you're overdriving sometimes until maybe you watch your footage or you see in the timings. And the best way to do that is within the first couple of laps, generally your kart is good on the straights, it feels quick. How do you adjust your driving to that? Everything has to be done earlier, whether that's braking or lifting. You just got more speed. Now we can use that to our advantage by having more speed on the exits, because that is essentially where lap time is won. Set yourself up on the entry, whether you have to lift more, lift earlier, brake more, brake earlier, in order to be on the gas well before the apex. And when you're on the gas before the apex, that'll ensure your exit is fast. So a couple of things you don't want to do is lift, let's say 50%, get back on the gas, come close to the apex, realize I'm going too fast, I have to lift again, and then get back on the gas again. It should be very progressive. So your throttle input should be, let's say you're 100% on the gas, now you brake, and then immediately apply the gas again and get back to 100. What you don't want is you brake, you put gas, then you lift, you put gas, then you lift, and then you back up again. You don't want to doubt yourself. Looks like we got some people, what do you call it, Zoom bombing or Google Meet bombing?
I think he left now.
Okay, who's +44? Because I'm not sure who admitted them in.
Yeah, they
Wasn't that his
left
number?
already. They left.
Yeah, no, because I'm normally able to admit people in. If they join again, just let me know. If anyone has shared the link, please avoid doing that, yeah, because we don't want disruption over here. So be progressive with your brakes, be progressive with the gas, and with a faster kart, then yeah, I'd push. I wouldn't hold back, because sometimes when you have a fast kart, yeah, you want to be smooth, but then this is your opportunity to get a faster timing. In terms of the line though itself for the double hairpins, all I'd say, you're doing a great job. What I would encourage though, go for maybe a slightly later turn in for the first hairpin. Use a bit more of the track on the outside over here, and at the last moment, then come across to the inside. So what that will help you do is carry a bit more speed on entry to the second hairpin, and the second hairpin, keep the braking or lifting, as you said, as you are. Maybe use a bit of your body weight. Are you leaning in any of these corners?
Yeah.
Excellent. Keep the leaning. So aggressive lean to the right as you turn to the left. Even with your steering inputs, sharp input to the left, and then you should be able to, get the best possible exits out of here. Overall, though, really, really good. Like, you just need to get more and more laps under your belt, and then experiment things. So some karts which are slow, you might not even have to brake for certain corners. I don't know if you experienced that at your track.
Sure. I was braking only for turn 1 and that first turn of the double hairpin.
Of the double hairpin.
Just that, yeah.
So in the fast kart, what changed?
I pushed myself too hard, and
That's normal.
I had the feeling that I was a lot faster, but I started fighting with the cart.
Yeah.
Too much speed, too much turn in the steering wheel, and I I got tired
And you get
for
that's
turning
normal.
so much.
That's normal. That's normal. Is it
So
playing? I don't know.
if I chose to late entries, got a little easier on the gas or brake a little more, I think I would have gained much time. But
Exactly. And now it's. Do you remember the cart number that this was?
yeah.
Memorize it.
Cart
Very important.
number 20. Yeah.
Cart number 20. You can take that regularly. That will be a positive for you. And
All right.
honestly, you're on a good path. You just got to keep up some regular practice now. Next time you get out on track, implement some new lines, and once you implement the new lines, then you can experiment after with removing braking for some corners, converting that to lifting only, and you can slowly stage it, hopefully be quicker. Was there anything else you need help with before we move on?
Oh no, just thank you.
It's been a pleasure to have you on as a guest from Brazil. It's always great to have new tracks, and we look forward to having more footage from you in the future and to join some of our sessions.
All right, it's awesome, and hopefully in a few weeks or months I'll be back here much better.
We're looking forward to it, Gabriel. Guys, we're going to take a quick look at the chat as we're coming up to 11 o'clock and we're coming up to the end of yet another track help session. What's up, Noam?
Hello.
Welcome back, Noam. Noam, you joined
Thank
before,
you.
right?
Yeah, I joined once. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I didn't make the last one.
No worries. How have you been, Noam?
I've been all right, thank you.
You've just caught us towards the end of the session. We're just
Yeah.
wrapping up for today. Did you have any footage though you wanted to go over?
No, not really. I just had one question actually
Go
from
for it.
what was his name? The guy you just helped,
Gabriel.
Gabriel?
Yeah, Gabriel.
The hairpin turn you helped him with.
Yes.
You told him to take like a wide line, not hitting that double apex.
Yes.
But instead of that, going wide and only hitting the apex once.
Right.
But aren't you just like wasting meters because the left hand turn right after is like almost right after, so you don't really need that momentum to get that top speed. If it was like towards a straight, I would get it, but like
Yep. It's a great question actually. Reason I proposed Gabriel to take. So Gabriel is currently taking a similar line. He's hugging the inside line, staying tight, and then he's setting up for the next corner. Reason I proposed him to take a slightly wider line on entry is just based on the sound of his engine. So if you listen to the revs about 15 minutes in his video, he's quite on and off on his gas pedal during this portion. So let's say he's finished his braking, he's back on the gas. Now he released off the gas. Now he's back on the gas.
So it's
Release,
just like
back on the gas. So he wasn't smooth with his input.
is it like a confidence thing, or
it could possibly a confidence thing. It's also he's tightening up the line for himself. So for him to be smoother, an easier way to revert back to being smooth on the gas is just widening things up, making the corner easier for us to take. Now, eventually, once he masters that, he can be smoother with his gas through first part of the hairpin. Then we revert back to how tight can we take this corner now. And probably by then he should be in a better position, and he'll start saving the meters by taking the tighter line.
yeah. I just got confused. I was like, am I doing something wrong?
No. It's remember it'll change from track to track and driver to driver. So Gabriel's very new to karting. He goes about twice a month to his track, and he's just been getting into it now. And that was his first time driving a fast kart at his track. So everything was quite overwhelming for him.
I think have you ever heard of the term TITS? TITS? It stands for time in the seat.
time in the seat.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's what he needs if he's new to karting.
That's exactly it. And you can then experiment with different things and refine your line a lot. I like that.
I think that's the biggest thing, just getting out on track.
Track time is so important. Was there anything else, Noah?
No, just happy to be here.
It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined. Hassan, I'm really sorry we couldn't go over your footage today because
No worries.
Let's save it
It's
for
fine.
next week. Yeah, let's save it for next
Yeah.
week. We put it up there as well. We got Stevie, we got Arab as well. We had Jeremy. Apologies we couldn't make it, guys, to having a chat with you, but we will definitely catch up as usual in next week's session. Now, got an announcement for a couple of announcements actually for next week on Saturday. For the first time, we're going to be interviewing a driver, Jensen Pugh. Jensen is a good friend of mine. He competes in junior road tax in the UK, and he has, well, we're in contact with him. He's got one of his biggest races coming up at the Wilton Mill circuit. Wilton Mill, they normally live stream their events. Now we're going to do a quick interview with Jensen from the track. He's going to be there in his garage with the karts. So if you want to have an opportunity to ask Pro Kart Driver in Rotax Studio Max any questions, log in on Saturday. That will be next week. The exact time and link will be shared well in advance in the academy. And the second edition of the ebook, the free ebook, has been refined to another level. This is going to be one of the best pieces of work that I'm going to give to you guys. The first edition of the ebook got great feedback, but simply was lacking in content. It was short and sweet, but this second edition of the ebook is everything you see on the channel, and it is plenty in depth. Guys, we're going to quickly address Arnav in the comments. And Arnav, or Arav, sorry, Arav is Arav, you're messaging on Insta and you're on the live. Arav, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's up, Arav? Arav, you should have raised your hand. I would have.
I'm very new to this meeting and stuff. I usually use Zoom meeting.
Gotcha. No, welcome to Google Meet. You had a quick question. I want to quickly address it before we end today's stream. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask the road to F1 from scratch.
Wow, great question. Everybody who starts karting always has the dream of F1, and it's valid because all F1 drivers started in karting, whether it's Leclerc, Verstappen, Lewis. You type in videos of them karting, you'll see at a young age. We have the famous clip of Leclerc and Verstappen. It's just an incident that was in karting. So really, it's about setting out budget. At the end of the day, you can have all the passion, all the enthusiasm, the biggest dream, but in motorsports, money talks. The higher you want to progress, the harder it's going to get financially. So karting is, of course, where you learn the grassroots, the foundations of the sport. And it's also where you will learn racecraft, because the battles in karting are generally on equal machinery, especially when you get into owner karts. There's only a few tenths, hundreds between people, and you can really battle hard there. You could then go into formula racing. So let's say you start with Formula 4 and you'd go through F2, F3, F2, and eventually to F1. You have to start adapting to car racing now. When it comes to car racing, it's different to karts. The style in karts is very aggressive. It's very much hands-on. You can use your body and things like that. In cars, you got to drive it like a car. It's a lot heavier. In my personal experience, I've done rental karting, professional karting, and I've also done Formula 4. But then I got bottleneck when, of course, sponsors and funds ran out for further categories. My experience in F4 between karting, there's a dedicated video on my channel, F4 versus rental karting, tell you some similarities and differences. The biggest difference is physicality and also a bit on the driving style, things like braking and how you win time. Whilst you do all of this racing and you're traveling and meeting different drivers, network with other individuals at the racetrack, people like team principals, driver scouts, build a social media presence, things like that. Document your journey on the way. More you can document journey on the way, more people get interested to look into supporting you, and that's what it's all about. Initially you'll have to invest in yourself through karting and even in the early stages of formula, but once you can get some sponsors under your belt and you can try and get into F3, then you can start looking to make further gains into things like Formula 2. But millions, I'm talking. If you simply research on Google, you'll see so many drivers and the accounts. Just to get a drive, teams will happily accept a payment of a few $1 million. That's why there's a lot of pay drivers, for example, who actually skip F3, for example, altogether. They'll just join F2. We've seen drivers who also skip F2 and they just join F1 directly. There's a lot of financial incentives for the team there. I think something like $20 million at one point was rumored.
Then Daruwala also spent like a $200 million and $300 million on F2, and he hasn't been to F1 still.
Is it 200 million he spent? That's incredible.
I saw it in one of his podcast. I don't know. It was kind of a podcast or something.
That's incredible. And you're right, he's not even in F1. I think he's gone into Formula E direction at one stage as well. So he's got lots of sponsors under his belt. But yeah, it's all about having a roadmap, but having that initial investment. You have to get the ball rolling with some funds, and then you can start performing out on track, and of course approaching sponsors. If you start at zero and then you're trying to prove yourself from karting, there's millions of drivers who are trying to make it. Age is also a big factor. If you start when you're nowadays, if you start in your teenage years, you're considered late. That's what people say. But I wouldn't look too much into age, because I think finances overrule that a lot more. And simply, if you have the money and you're in your 20s or even late 20s, you can still make it. Money talks. Cash is king, as they said in one of the Netflix series. Was there anything else, Anav?
Yeah, and I wanted to ask, what about professional karting? I have only done one competition for rental car, and it was a kind of a talent scouting competition.
Yeah, for the professional car competitions, you've got to start looking at buying your own kart. And if you want to go in the direction of owner karting, it's best to consult a team. A team will have all-inclusive package. They'll have driver coaches. They'll have maintenance, mechanics, because that is what's required. Probably see the famous background behind me. That's an owner kart competition. You can see how many personnel are just around one kart. And, things like tires are having to be changed almost every session. Things like setup, things like spare parts is totally different to rental karts, where it's just jump in and drive. So think about consulting a team. And then, of course, that level of karting is similar to F1. It's our version of F1. You have different teams fighting each other. And, of course, prestigious prizes like tickets to world finals. And that's where you'll then go and race against the top drivers in the world.
Yeah, I am starting like in November or something. November or December, I'm starting a level 2 go-kart training in Malaysia, the Sepang
Excellent.
one.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah.
The training is recommended by the Red Rabbit Racing team. It is one of the best
Red
team
Rabbit
in
Racing.
India.
Yeah. Deep, right?
And
He's one of the managers.
I don't know. I just played only. I just raced only one competition, and it was a talent scout competition. And I got a scholarship from there. I got third position out of 100 people.
No, that's amazing. And honestly, that's something to be proud of and something you can add to your resume already. That it's a prestigious scouting competition that I was invited to. Now build on that. I'd encourage you to go to this Malaysia camp or level 2 and experience a new track, new set of karts, and maybe try some owner karting there. I know that track in Sepang, they have kart owner days at the weekends. It's very competitive there. It's an amazing, amazing track. And, enjoy yourself out there.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, guys, for today. We're going to have to call it a wrap. It's coming on to nearly 12 o'clock for me over here. Guys, stay tuned. We've got big announcements coming for the next week. Got plenty of content as well on the way.
Omar.
Stevie. Stevie.
Version 2, when's it out?
Can you repeat that again?
Version 2, when's it out?
Version 2 is scheduled for Saturday next week. Now, that's subject to getting all of the filming done, because I'm going to be making an official post for this. And that post is going to be done at my local track, and it's subject to them opening it up for me to do the filming. So if it comes out after Saturday, then I've had some problem doing filming on track. But it's sometime next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stevie. Jeremy, before we wrap up.
I just wanted to ask, are you going to do the 24 hours in October at Milton Keynes again?
24 hours in October. As of now, no. There's no team that we've got. So unless it's a late wild card entry, then only. But for sure, for next year's 24 hours, we're planning to do it again. Myself and another team are in talks. When it's summer, it's a lot more enjoyable. Now it's winter, conditions are very, very cold. So you don't have that same vibe. We were lucky in May how we had a beautiful, beautiful day, majority of the race.
Yeah.
Been a pleasure, guys. Let's catch up next week at the same time for track help. Before that, the day before that, we're hopefully going to have Jensen's live interview. All the details will be shared on the Academy well before, so you're not going to miss the timings and that. Love as many people to join that interview as possible, gain some questions, and hopefully the second edition of the free ebook is going to be out next week. Looking forward to that, guys. Until then, take care. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye. No.